Yeah, hello. In this video, let us discuss about the progressive elaboration nature, uh, which encompasses the process flow from initiation till planning, and still extends to execution, monitoring, and controlling, and closing. So in today's class, one of the students asked me to explain this concept of progressive elaboration, and I thought it will be beneficial for everyone, hence this video. So we started with the initiation. We started with initiation of the project, and the inputs from the scope angle. We had the statement of work, which was a high level description of the scope of the project, and initiation we appointed a project manager, and we identified the stakeholders as well, and the project manager took the project into detailed planning. And in planning, one of the aspects was collect detailed requirements, collect detailed requirements, and then define scope. And once the scope was defined, we decomposed that scope into a work breakdown structure. And once the WBS work breakdown structure is done, then this work packages got decomposed into activities. These work packages got decomposed into activities. Now the next step was sequencing those activities based on their dependencies. We spoke about 4 types of dependencies, like finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, and start to finish. And there are 2 activity sequence diagram. One is the activity on arrow diagram, or it is also known as ADM, which is the arrow diagramming method. And then we had activities on the node. This is also known as AON, activity on node, or precedence diagramming method. So by applying these dependencies onto the activity lists, we got the activity on node diagram and the activity sequence diagram. And from this we developed the schedule. So we started with a very lightweight, loosely defined statement of work, and we got into, then we studied the detailed requirements and defined the scope very, very clearly, decomposed that into a work breakdown structure, and then here so we had the statement of work here. So we have the statement of work here, and then we defined the scope very clearly, decomposed that into a work breakdown structure, and then we had the work packages and decomposed that into activities, and to those activities we applied these dependencies like finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, and start to finish. And we got the activity network diagrams like AOA or arrow diagramming method, AON or precedence diagramming method, and thus we arrived at the schedule part of it. So once the schedule is done, then the assumption is that we have absolute clarity onto the scope, and any changes to that we'll have to undergo a change management procedure. So this process of elaborating the scope as the project progresses, we call it as the progressive elaboration. That means during the initial phase of the project, we have less insight into the project, and as the project progresses more and more, we gain more and more insight into the scope of the project. So that this characteristic of a project, we call it as progressive elaboration of the project. So with this, we have discussed two things. One is the progressive elaboration nature of the project, and the second one is the workflow from initiation till planning. So we started with the statement of work and contract copy, which came in as an input for project initiation, and at initiation we had charter